Hey mathematicians, I'm going to show you my favorite way to solve dividing fraction problems, and it doesn't even involve showing math symbols. Okay, it's with pictures. Let me show you some examples. I know that this did not print super well in your notes, so stare at it here. When we're showing division problems, you're looking at a problem like 2 divided by a half, and you're like, what the heck is that? What's important to remember about a division problem is that the first number is what you have, and the second number is what you're splitting it up into. So if I have 2, I can draw myself a picture. It does not have to be beautiful art. This is 2 circles. 1, 2. This is a number line. If you are comfortable with number lines, go for it. I personally like to draw pictures better. I have 2. I'm cutting them into groups the size of a half. Okay, I can cut this into a half. Look, a half. Wow, such great art. A half. That was not perfect, but we're going to pretend. When you see a division problem, the answer is how many groups the size of this are in this. Okay, well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 half-size pieces in 2. Oh, my answer is 4. Pictures don't need math symbols. Another strategy, if you have a number line, is to count how many half-size jumps. 1 half, 2 halves. I'm trying to get to the 2 holes. 3 halves, 4 halves in 2 holes. There are 4 half-size parts in 2, so 2 divided by a half is 4. You can double check by doing the inverse, the opposite of division, which is multiplying. Half of 4, yep, that's 2. All right, let's try this next one together. If you have 4, how many half-size pieces are there? Oops. Okay, so if I have 4, how many half-size pieces are there? Start out by drawing 4. They can be circles, they can be rectangles or squares. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You want to cut them into pieces this size, a half. Cut it in half, cut it in half. You could even cut it in half this way. I don't recommend switching up your style too much because then you just might confuse yourself. I personally just label inside them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ta-da! 4 divided by 1 half is 8. Let's try a slightly trickier one. What if I have 12 divided by 2/3? So I'm going to start by drawing my 12 little rectangles. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can see why this is maybe not the most efficient strategy. It's what we're going to do right now. But then after this, I'm going to teach you how to do the math so you don't always have to draw. But I personally am a very visual learner. I like to draw. This is 9, 10, 11, 12. We're going to cut them into 2/3. Each piece gets split into 3. And I'm going to pause. I'm going to do it real fast for you. All right, so I have my 12 squares. I cut each one into thirds. And now I want 2 of them. So I will keep with my numbering strategy, except that I'm going to call this 1 and also 1 because it takes 2 of these to make one group. 2, and look, I'm just going to skip over. 2, 3, and 3. 4, tiny, and 4. 5 and 5. While I'm doing this and I'm trying to squeeze my numbers in, let me say that this is the kind of problem that maybe you want to get some scratch paper for, because life is always easier when you have more room to draw out your pictures of your division problems. 12 and 12, 13 and 13, 14 and 14, 15 and 15, 16 and 16, 17, 17, 18, 18, nothing left over, everything is groups of 2/3. My answer is 12 divided by 2/3 equals 18. If you're like, wow, okay, this strategy makes sense, and later you're not loving the division algorithm, talk to me about this and I'll show you how to use this even for problems that have remainders. But for today, you're going to draw yourself beautiful pictures of squares or rectangles and show what's happening as you separate your problems into groups the size of whatever the second number, the divisor, is in your division problem.